Okay, you can pat yourself on the back because you have nearly finished your first row of knitting. So just coming up to the last 3 stitches, and I'm going to place a marker here because on the last 3 stitches of every row we do something slightly different. So if I place the marker, just slide that onto the right hand needle, it's going to tell me that I need to do something different for those last 3 stitches, and this is what we do. We take our working yarn and we move it from the knit position, which is at the back of our work. We move it around under the needle to the front of our work, which in knitting we call the purl position, and then we slip those last 3 stitches by taking our right hand needle, going up through the front of the next stitch this time, and the right hand needle crosses over the top, slide it off. Okay, take that right hand needle, go up through the front of the next stitch, slide it off. Take that right hand needle, go up through the front of the next stitch, slide it off. So we have slipped those last 3 stitches. Why do we do that? Because it creates a really cool edge called an I-cord edge, and I'll show you a finished blanket in a moment with that edge on it. So then we are ready for row 2. So we turn our needles over so that we're going ready to start row 2, and I have all of my stitches on the left hand needle back into my left hand. My tail is at the front there, my working yarn is coming from behind those 3 stitches that we slipped. So we're all ready to go for our next row. Just before we do that, row 2 is a right side row. Row 1 that we just completed was a wrong side row. So this becomes important later on in our pattern to know which is the right side, which is the wrong side. So that I know in the future, I've got a tapestry needle here with a different colored piece of yarn, and I am just going to slip that through a stitch that I've already created, just so I know this side where this piece of yarn is sitting is the right side of my work. So we can just tie a knot in that. So that's indicating that this is the right side of my project. Okay, now we're ready to do row 2. So once again we're knitting, so we're going into the front of our stitch. We've got our working yarn, not the tail, don't knit with the tail. Wrap that round under, sliding off like we did in the first row. So it's just a repeat all the way through of row 1. Ooh, it's a little bit tight there, that's okay. Again, these early rows are a little bit awkward, but it does get easier, believe me. Right, I'm just going to slide that stitch marker from my left needle across to my right needle. I don't need to do anything different until I come back around to the last 3 stitches of this row, and then that's going to mark the last 3 stitches of the next row. So when it's at the beginning like that, we're just slipping it over from left to right needle. We don't need to do anything. Okay, and so we're going to knit across to our last 3 stitches and just go over that I-cord edge one more time. So I will be back shortly. Right, we have nearly finished our second row of knitting. Yay, look at that, looking gorgeous. So once again, coming up to the last 3 stitches on our second row, which is the right side row that we have marked, I'm going to place another stitch marker just there so that I know when I get to the last 3 stitches of every row there's a little marker that tells me I need to slip those last 3 stitches to form the I-cord edge. So to do that, we take our working yarn, take it from the back of our work in the knit position around to the front to what we call the purl position, and then we slip those 3 stitches off. So our right hand needle goes up through the front this time, crosses over the left, over the top, slide off 1, up through the front, slide off, up through the front, slide off. Okay, and now we are ready to do our 3rd row. So we're going to turn our needles over so that all our work is on the left again, and our right needle is empty, and we are going to start knitting into the front. Around we go. So every row is the same throughout our essential blanket. Okay, so the marker is in position there, but I don't need it at the beginning of the row. I only need it at the end where my other marker is. So I'm just going to slip that from the left needle to the right and carry on to the last 3 stitches. And that is how we do our essential blanket. I have a finished essential blanket here, and I just wanted to show you the I-cord edge. So it creates, slipping those last 3 stitches creates this lovely rolled looking edge, which is a beautiful finish on your blanket. It's actually nicer than just the normal raw edge that you would get if you didn't do that I-cord finish. And also it's very handy in that when we have all the ends that we weave in when we've finished our project, we can just weave them in through that edge and hide them. So we just take our tapestry needle and kind of weave it through that tube on the edge, and that's in a later video. So that is why we do the beautiful I-cord edge. Look how soft and yummy that yarn is when it's knitted up. It's just amazing.